All right.
We're going to go back to Brenda. Brenda, you want to keep chatting for a little while?
Good night, everybody.
Sure.
All right, Brenda's going to keep chatting for a little while.
Or I'll find something to pass it to. Yep, we're here. Anybody, what's going on? We haven't heard.
Oh, I'm painting stuff.
Katie,
I just got done tearing my dust collector apart.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
also made I made an indexing wheel tonight, or part of an indexing wheel tonight. So
Oh, cool.
Gary was asking about that. I don't know if he's still on. Yep, Gary's still there. But I printed a little protractor. Let me show you. I printed a little protractor thingy, and I glued it to a piece of Lexan here, and I'm going to cut it out. But I don't know if y'all can. Here, I can't highlight myself. So somebody will have to do it. But
I'll get you, Matt. Hang on.
You were there.
Where is he? There we go.
So I printed this thing, and is one of those sites off the internet, and I have to cut it out on the bandsaw, and it's on just a little piece of Lexan here that I had floating around in the shop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out where the green is. I'm going to Forstner bit that out, that's 1.25 inches, so it fits over my lathe shaft. And then I'm going to drill holes in it so I can index it. But Gary was asking how I did that, and I just printed this out, and I'm going to Forstner bit it out the center. So to give you an idea, one of the ones, this is one that I purchased. Okay, so this one fits and works. This is the one that I use on my lathe a lot. And you can see like the little Sharpie marks I've made in there. So, in which, how many holes are in each one. So it's easier to remember. But so this, I know that that one fits on my lathe. So it's just, you can see that that's the bit that I'm going to Forstner bit out so that it fits. So this will fit, and I'll just Forstner out the bit in the middle here. And I've got it marked out, and I'll drill holes so I can index it. This is done in 16, like each slice is a six. There's 16 slices, okay? Because I found that in the things that I've been doing, the multi-axis things that I've been doing lately, that I use multiples of 6 or multiples of 8 and 16 a lot. So I'm going to use this. I can use this, but it's too big. So I'm going to use my setup to do this one instead. So anyway, that's one way to do it. And I suggested in do not hold the Lexan when drilling, clamp it. Thank you, Tom. Good to know. So do not hold it, clamp it. Got it. All right. Yeah, I plan to do it on my drill press and clamp it like you would normally. So yeah, but that's one way to do it. And I would refer to the question was asked in chat earlier, and I refer to the demo we had a couple of weeks ago from the gentleman, Walt Wager, who did the Southwestern American Indian style pottery demonstration. And he was using homemade indexing wheels also. And he was using a popsicle stick to index it on the platform on his lathe. So that's another way to do it, very similar to what I'm doing. So anyway, there you go.
So Matt, you can buy one of these so you don't have to figure it all out with an index.
Where's the fun in that, Scott?
this is, I don't know if you
somebody
can see
somebody
it on the
highlight
camera.
him. Somebody highlight him.
This is somebody will highlight me.
I'm getting there. How's
So
that?
this is a circular compass, and it's all marked out in degrees to 1 degree, and it's perfectly round. It's 360-degree protractor compass is what they call it.
Well, one of the reasons why I like the way I did it, Scott, is I can use the spray adhesive and stick it to a piece of, you know what I mean? And all I've got to do, it's all precise. All I got to do is just drill it out and it's right where everything is, on the piece of Lexan. You know what I mean?
Yep. So what I
So-
do is I do the same thing you're gonna do, Matt. But
Okay.
instead of having to go find somebody on a website to do it, I make my own. So I just take a piece of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, figure
Yeah.
out what I want for an index. The center of this right here has a mark that marks the center. And then you can make your points and draw your lines at whatever angles you want, whatever degrees you want, and make whatever pattern you want. All you need is a calculator to figure out what degrees you're gonna make your.
Yeah,
Heading
I have drawn them out myself before, and I have done them on the computer myself also by drawing a line and then rotating it and printing that out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to do it. What I wanted with this is I wanted something more precise than that, something that was exact, so that I could, I didn't want to worry about my drawing skills interfering with things being perfect.
Well, what's the nice part about this is because it's degreed all the way around. So if you got 12 index marks, so you know what it is on this side, you know what it is on this side. All you got to do is put a dot there and a dot there and draw your line between them. You don't even need
Yep.
the center point.
Yep.
You just got to know, take your calculator, divide it by however many indexings you want, and then you can make countless. I mean, you can make them down to 1 degree or half degrees if you want, because this is marked out in
Yeah,
1 degree.
and you tape that to the piece of paper so it doesn't move, so you don't get
Exactly. And then I make all my dots accordingly, make my center hole, where my center line's going to be. And then I pull this off, or sometimes I make a perfect cross, lay this out on the cross so that you have your 180 and your 90 and, so that you're dead center. And then you can make your opposing lines accordingly. Or
Yep.
if you want something really radical, I started your spiral twist. I actually made a indexing wheel to create that spiral so I wouldn't have to use a piece of tape.
perfect.
Because you can make a twist with this as well. If it took a little calculation, but my engineering background makes that easy. And then I figured out what that rate of twist is so that I can create my indexing wheel to create the twist. I can actually draw it that way instead of having to mark up the whole piece with a bunch of pencil lines and forget what
Perfect.
you're doing.
Perfect.
It's just another way to skin the same cat,
Yep, and there, and I'm going to use little drill holes, because I can use this and my little setup that has the little pin that goes in these little holes,
Yep.
and that will work. But Walt Wager was using, he had a little platform and he had popsicle sticks, so instead of holes, he had little slots in the end, and he was just indexing that way, and that works too.
Yeah.
So you got to have something to fix your index wheel in place, and you've got to be fairly precise about where you put your spots. And I'm sure he was cutting them out with a bandsaw or something like that, and you're good to go.
Yeah. The new chuck that I just ordered that Dane sent us all on, that's actually got an indexing plate in the back of it.
I saw one of those. I like that a lot. That's a great idea. I mean, I've used, I'm a Powermatic, and I've used the indexing wheels, but I've used the indexing system, but you got to refer to that like arcane chart, and it's not something you can't really see where the holes are, because you're dropping a pin in and you can't really see what you're doing. So I prefer the more visual way to do it.
That's the way my new jet is too. They got numbers on the pulley, but you can't correspond the number with the pin that you're sticking it in the pulley. You don't know what number hole you're in. You got to figure out how to figure out what hole you're in, and it's a pain. So I'm glad this new truck has an indexing system on the back. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I was watching somebody's video. Who was I watching? Oh, it was Alan Stratton, and those 8-pointed stars he was doing. And what he did, he was using his lathe indexer, but what he did is he wrapped a piece of masking tape around his chuck, and then used the indexer and marked on the masking tape where he was, so he knew right where I thought that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. It's sometimes it's faster than taking something off and putting your indexing wheel on if you're only gonna do.
Yep.
You want something that's
if you're only
repeatable.
making 4 or 8 marks or something like that, then
Yep.
it's a great idea. Yep. And it's as precise because you're using your indexer to set your, where you make your marks, so.
So were you the one that asked the question in the chat about the little pen lights?
Yeah, these little things here, these little bullet lights.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create one of your spirals,
Oh, that's a great idea.
and I'm gonna I want to make it into a tree ornament. So I have some of those same pen lights, and I'm gonna embed it in the top end and make that hang on the tree. So it's actually gonna be upside down, more like
I'm gonna totally steal that idea, Scott. These things,
Go
they
ahead.
have a little. They have a little. I can't really see that. They have a little sort of an eye thing on the end there. Can you all see that?
Yep.
And they hang if you do them like this, sometimes they'll come on like that. But
Yep.
if they hang, they won't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because the battery's in there. So
Yep.
that's
And I'm
a
gonna
great
use-
idea. I'm
gonna
totally
use that little eyelet as my hooking point to hook it on the tree so that you can pop it in and out of there.
That's a fantastic idea. I'm
But
totally
you
doing that.
gave me the idea.
Are you going to paint the inside of it too then?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you got to gold leaf it, man, so it shines.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
like
Yeah.
Dane did on his. I'm gonna gold leaf it or silver leaf it on the inside so that it's really shiny.
Yeah. Or put glitter on it so it sparkles or something.
Yeah,
I
you can
got
do
that.
anything you want.
I got that foil tape I can use. That foil, those flakes.
Yeah,
Those,
absolutely.
I'm going to use that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Lots of options.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out how I can make 3 parallel twists, like what you have.
Somebody did that. Somebody did that in my club. I did the same demo for my club, and one of the carving guys did that. He took like a 1/2-inch piece of tape and made 3. He cut 3 spirals. I was like, dude, this is awesome. He's like, that's great. And I love doing that demo because everybody jumps in on it and is making all these really cool spiral finials. It's great fun.
Yeah. I just thought the 3 spiral twists would look cool with that light that you just showed in there.
They would because people couldn't see what's going on. There'd be mystery and there'd be light and shiny stuff and
Yep.
lots of fun.
That was a great demo, Matt. that really inspired me to make some off the wall stuff that I wouldn't have thought of on my own.
Yep. Wonderful.
Scott,
I'm glad.
Scott, you're going to have to make about 30 or 40 of them though to cover the whole tree.
I already have orders for 10 of them from my wife.
Oh, she's going to need more than 10. Yeah, she's going to need more than
Funny
10.
how that works.
I got this chuck from Record Power, and I
Isn't it, man?
put indexing in the back of it.
Yeah, it's the same truck as what I just ordered.
And
There
I
you
just
go.
ordered 2 of the I got an echo going. I got 2 of the new ones coming. They should be here tomorrow.
They'll be the same on the back, Dan. Record Power and Nova trucks are exactly the same.
Is that the one we just paid $99 for?
Yes, ma'am.
So I got one too. And another one on the way.
There you go.
Then I'll be darned. So how does
Well-
that work exactly?
So there's 24 or there's 12 holes per half a ring. So it's actually
Okay.
marked out in 24 hole segments, but because there's that slot in there, you don't have that 12th hole. On the Nova version, on the
Back side of
Record
the
Power,
tub,
you
right?
do. Yep.
Yep. But this one here was $200, but it came with, a set of jaws and a ring and a bunch of other crap.
Right. I ordered those separate.
Yeah, I got $84 in mine. 85 actually with the shipping.
Right.
Yeah, and I ordered 2 last week, which will be here.
Let me see that
tomorrow.
again, Scott. So how do you use the indexing thing if it's on the back of it?
You just make a pin that goes in the back. So you make an arm with a pin in it that'll fit in those holes. So you clamp it something to your bedways or your headstock or whatever you want that doesn't move, and you just index it in the holes and it'll index.
You can make it out of wood.
Yeah, you can make it out of anything. As long as it fits in that little hole. I'm gonna use an Allen key that fits. I'm gonna cut an Allen key that'll fit in that hole.
Oh, that's a
Yep.
great idea. You'll have to show us next week, Scott, because not everybody has your engineering brain about that. So I think a lot
Right,
of
I-
because
us-
I'm still not figuring, I'm not seeing how it's gonna work.
So you got this chuck. Oh, look at that. I even found an Allen key that fits. So so this is gonna be mounted on your lathe.
Yeah,
I'll make an arm that holds this key in a fixed position. And then when I want to make an index, I just turn it and put it in the next hole, or wherever hole I need to put it in. This will always
the
stay attached to the lathe, to the headstock.
the pin has to be able to move in and out.
Yep, you're just gonna slide in and out through a hole.
well, how is it gonna attach to the lathe then if it's gonna move in and out?
I'll show you next week.
Okay,
It'll be easier to show you than it will to explain it to you.
yes,
You could actually put a spring in there where it would pop back out of the way.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, you could. There's a lot of different ways you could put the pin in it. It's the same way that Matt's going to use his indexing wheel. He's got to have a fixed pin somewhere in order to fit in the
Yeah,
holes.
my indexing wheel that I have that I actually purchased, I got it from flutemaster.com. I don't know if they still sell them or not, but it came with a little sort of a what looked really flimsy little arm that attached to my lathe bed. And I don't have it up here with me, I'm sorry, but it has a little pin on the end of it. It's just a little sort of arm. It's in two parts, so it bends so it can match whichever bit of whichever one of these holes you're in, and then it just has a little pin that you just stick in, and then you pull it out and move it and put it back in, and that's how you do the indexing.
So a 3/32 Allen key will fit in that hole.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is, so it's
I
probably
just-
about what this is too.
I just pulled that out of the rack and stuck it in there, Matt. That's how I know it fits. What's the odds of that?
I'd say that years of experience has served you well. That's what I would say.
No, I think that was luck. But I'll show you next week. I got another trick that I'm going to show next week too, on how to create your own way to grab small items in your pin jaws.
Okay.
Little homemade collets that you can use in your pin jaws rather than spending
I'll
a
be
lot of money
fascinated
on.
because I use my pin jaws a lot to grab small stuff, so that'll be great.
So your pin jaws can only grab, I don't know, I think mine only grab like 3/8.
Yeah, it's not very big.
It's not very small actually. And I made a collet that'll go inside those pin jaws and pinch down on the piece so that it grabs a hold of it. And I made it, you can make them out of wood, you can make them out of round plastic, whatever you want to make them out of, as long as it's not brittle. You wouldn't want to use acrylic necessarily. But I wanted to grab some stuff that was only 1/8 inch in diameter. Well, you can't find anything that fits in a 4-jaw chuck. And I didn't want to spend the money on buying collets for 1 or 2 projects,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Collets are super expensive.
They are.
Pin
Yeah, I
jaws was
bought a set
another
of
reason I wanted to
pallets.
buy another chuck. Because I wanted to get a chuck, that fit my pin jaws.
I bought a set of collets and I use them all the time.
Yeah.
They're extremely handy. I'll say that.
Yeah, once you have them, you'll probably use them more than you think, probably.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've been tempted a number of times to buy collets myself. So yeah,
They're just so darned expensive.
that's I'm cheap. That's part of it.
Well, I got
If-
mine
So if I
on-
can make them, I'll be happy.
Yeah. And you
I got
can make
mine
them,
on-
Matt. They're easy to make.
I got mine on Amazon for $64. And it's a nice set. But then I bought extra collets for it, so because it didn't go down to an eighth. So I had, instead of buying a whole bunch of stuff that is just repeating, I just ordered the individual ones that I needed. And
Yeah.
it wasn't that expensive. And they're the ER32s.
Right.
Yep.
Does that fit on your new lathe, Dan?
Yeah,
Is it in the Morris taper or does it fit on the threads?
on the threads. Yeah, I like it. And they snap right in. If it's kind of like a metric size, you can tighten that down and it'll still grab it.
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
And it don't mark your piece up at all. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways of doing it, but to me, it was worth it.
I'm like Matt. I'm too cheap. If I can make it, I'd rather make it.
Well, normally I do too, but I was looking for an 1.25 inch Beal tap, and I looked all over. I couldn't find it. Matt told me a place that had them, and it took 3 weeks to get it, but I ordered it. So now I make, my own stuff for on the lathe.
Yeah.
I love using that thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got an 1.25 inch tap off of Amazon. Came in a couple days.
Yeah, you have to make sure, because one of the times I was making vacuum chucks, I did it end grain, and it just didn't work. I ruined a couple of, ruined a day in the shop of trying to tap end grain. It didn't work well at all.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to get my Dremel pieces that I ordered the night that Matt did the ribbon finial.
Mm.
Yeah, I bought the little drill bits or the little saw bits or whatever, to go with my Dremel. I still
found
ain't.
mine
Did you
in
get?
What's that?
the little
Which ones
saw
did you
one
get?
like you had, Matt.
I think it was somebody messaged me. It's like the 199. Is that the one you ordered?
Yep. That's the one she better ordered because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It used to come standard with, like, when I bought my first Dremel, that was like one of the standard bits in there, it was a
Like,
carbide
Yeah,
saw
it's right
bit
here.
or whatever they call it.
I bought one the other day at the hardware store. They had them in the rack.
There you
$1.99
go.
is the carving, sawing, and engraving bit.
Let me see. Look like.
Which hardware store?
Ace.
Ah, I'll have to look at mine, Ace.
What was the number on it?
$1.99.
I think I got that one.
I ordered a Winzen cutting wheels set, 44 piece for Dremel rotary tool accessory.
Goodness.
Dane said he used the diamond one. He said it worked okay.
Yeah, I used to cut. I mean, I tried it in that demo. I told you guys I tried a bunch of different of the cutters. A lot of them work. It's just this one seemed to work better.
I like the idea that it's small. I think it's going to be easier to control than that big diamond wheel.
Yeah, the big diamond wheel just doesn't work, and the small diamond wheel or the cutoff wheels, they just don't work because they can't go around the corners.
Right. Yep. Yeah, this one's, I bet you this one ain't even 3/8 in diameter. It's pretty small.
Yep.
This says it's got
It's not a very big.
cutting wheels, 15 piece resin cutoff discs, 15 piece
Goodness.
HSS circular saw blades, 6 pieces with 6 mandrel shanks. But I ain't got it yet. It was $42.
Did you get your housing, Brenda?
No, I ain't got that yet either. Yeah. And the check that I did get, they brought it UPS. They delivered it while I was in the garage. They wouldn't leave it on the porch. They left me a note.
Yeah, you gotta sign for it.
Yeah, evidently. I had to go to CVS to pick it up.
Yep, that's what I had to do too, because they got rid of all the UPS stores, so now you gotta go to wherever their drop off.
We got one up on Broadway.
Really?
Yeah, my cousin works there.
We don't have any UPS stores anymore, so we
We
have to
got a
pick them
UPS
up
store,
at,
but I had to go to CVS to get it.
yep, they got a contract with CVS, Walgreens, and Ace Hardware.
I'll be darned.
And then I go to pick it up. No, never asked for an ID, never asked for a number. All they asked was my name and address. So I could have been anybody that come in and picked up that package. They didn't know who I was.
Oh, I had the ticket and they asked me for the number.
Ours didn't even ask. All she asked was my name and address. She didn't even know if I was who I said I was. Could have been
Yeah.
anybody.
Huh.
Hey, Dane just said hello.
Hey,
Is he
Dave.
coming on or is he hiding?
No, he's still working in his bathroom on the sink.
Oh, did he text you?
Yeah, he's got it going though. He said he's got it. It's all working. So the sink is in, he said.
Good for him.
Worst job in the world is being a plumber.
I
Tell
know.
me about it. I
I used to be able to do that kind of work, but
Bathroom.
my back, I can't crawl under sinks anymore with my back and neck the way they are anymore.
Yeah. When I did my bathroom, my upstairs bathroom, my kitchen or the sink, I put the wrong pieces together, glued the wrong pieces together 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I know. Of course, that glue instantly sticks, so you can't take them apart and redo it.
Right?
4 times I had to go back to Lowe's and get another piece. Each time, I'm looking here, okay, this side goes in this pipe. Pull it apart, put the glue on, and turn it around somehow or another. 4 times.
Wow.
And so,
That's why I use, No.
that's typical. Yep. Buy the wrong part, get the wrong size, put together wrong.
Have you tried your the potentiometer to see if it works?
Yes, I do have it hooked up and it works. But remember I told you it had act like it had a loose wire.
Mm.
And I redone it and it still does it. So I was waiting for the housing to come in before I redo it again.
Yeah, it might not like to be vibrated around. It might have to be held in place. It doesn't, because
That's what I was thinking. It
run-
might not do that once it gets in the housing and
Yeah, it's run by little magnets in there that speed it up and slow it down when you turn it. So
yeah.
it doesn't like, they don't like a lot of hard vibration.
Yeah. I think it just does it when you first turn it on. But once you
You
get
might-
it, then it's fine.
Yeah, it just got a little, it might have to wear itself in a little bit too.
Yeah. Just got a little hesitation in it.
Yep.
So
And that could be a little dust in it. Could have been the way it was put together, manufactured.
well,
I'm gonna head out, you guys. I had a great night. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks,
All
Matt.
right.
Matt,
night,
see you
Matt.
later. Bye.
good night, Matt.
You
Stay
guys.
warm,
For the
Matt.
demo, it was a good demo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I learned how to drill a hole wrong.
Yes.
Oh.
See, Captain Eddie's always on me, and that's what happened. He got to me, and had that stuck in the back of my head during my whole demo, and there it was. Thank you, Captain Eddie.
Okay, Scott, my wife doesn't want them smooth, so how can I texture them to make them look like an actual snowman?
Wire brush.
Didn't think about, that's a good idea. I didn't think about a wire brush.
What about the texturing paint?
No, she doesn't want them painted. I can't put faces on them. The only thing I can do is turn the hats black and put a orange nose in them. I can't paint eyes on them. I can't put buttons on them, and she wants a rough texture. Isn't she demanding?
Hey, use a wire brush. I've done that. Yeah.
It's better than
I'll try-
sanding them.
Yeah, at least I don't have to sand them. I don't have to make the dusty mess.
Well, you want to make sure you don't have any tool marks, and then use the wire brush.
No, she wants the tool marks in there too. She says when you roll a snowman, when you roll a snowball, it's not smooth, it's lumpy, and it can have lines in it depending on what's in the yard when you roll it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
She wants them to look just like we took it outside and rolled it on the ground.
Yard. Oh,
She-
goodness.
I've
She
actually
likes
made
things-
I've made snowmen that look like they're melting.
Yep. And she
I
she
make
wants
them-
me,
I make 3 different balls. They're separate,
yep,
and it's like they're round on top, and then they're kind of dished underneath, and then I just stack them on top of each other. One's a little bit bigger than the other, and it looks
She
like they're
wants-
just all melting down.
she wants me to do that, except she only wants the head, and the rest of the body, she wants me to go find a log and peel the bark off and then make the head. She's gonna paint the bottom white. That one, she said she'd paint the head and then make it look like it melted into whatever the log looked like after I peel the bark off.
Oh man, I want to see that one when it's done.
I think it'd be neat, but you gotta find a
Yeah.
log that's got a lot of, humps and bumps in it, like a piece of a burl, like the side off
yeah.
a burl.
Yeah. Something like that. It shouldn't be too hard. Just branches, large branches that look like that.
Well, I have some burl here that I've cut made bowl blanks out of the burl, and I saved the cutoff pieces. I just never peeled the bark off. So now I'm gonna peel the bark off, and that'll be her base. But
That'll work.
turning the head will be easy because she doesn't want it perfectly round either. So she wants the head to look like it's melting into the piece. So there might be a little carving involved in that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She spends way too much time on Pinterest.
Right.
I know. I see people. They see stuff that's made out of plastic. They see stuff that's ceramic or whatever, and they go, "Can you make that?" I'm like, "Well, I can try, but that's a whole different medium that you're looking at."
Yep.
Make something like it.
Yeah.
I told her we could make a clay base if nothing else.
Hmm.
Just turn a dome and then put white clay over the top. Molding clay that the jewelry makers make, and then just paint it white or seal it.
Yeah. That'll work.
Yeah,
What about the spray snow?
yeah, that might work
Yeah.
too.
But that stuff collects dust, though.
Yeah, it does. It does. You can't clean it.
Yeah, you can't clean it, and the dust will start to make it look brown.
Can you take it in the garage and blow it off with the air hose?
Not really. It
Oh.
gets down in the nooks and crannies of that stuff, and it sticks.
Yep.
Yeah. Hmm.
I made some pieces years
When it
ago.
gets dirty,
so
then paint it.
I made some lamps years ago with the bark on, and I never sealed the bark. Never used any spray lacquer or some kind of spray on it to seal it. And when it gets dust in it, you can't get it out. And you try to blow it out, then all you do is blow the bark off of it or the character off of it. Been down that road.
Oh, well.
She spends too much time watching those shows on TV and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so is my wife. But then again, she did pretty good on that Christmas tree. It looks all right.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Post that to the website so I can show my wife.
Yeah, I will.
You'll be making her one.
No, I'll make the trees. She can do the rest.
Yeah.
She sits there with little tweezers and she'll do these
Diamond
Um,
arts.
tumblers with the lids with the person's initial in it.
Wow.
And she uses that what are them crystals? They're quite expensive.
Oh, Swarovski crystals?
Yeah, Swarovski. And you know, she'll have like $50 wrapped up in just the materials on it. And people say, well, I'll give you $5 for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
bet you
love
will.
those people.
Crap.
I said, bet you will. And she does her own glasses up too. And everybody, they want her to do their glasses, but they don't want to pay her anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know what that's like.
Yep.
I made a website up for her one time and a boutique store, and she made all kinds of stuff up. She sold very little, but people, they just want it for nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to get it in the right place.
I don't bargain with people. If they bargain, try to lower me, I just come back with a higher price than my asking price.
That's what I do.
And then they'll look at you really weird. And I go, well, I'm bargaining with you. You bargain your price, I just bargain mine.
Yeah.
And there's been a few times where people actually said, okay, I'll buy it at your price. I said, yeah, the price I just quoted you, not the price tag. They're like, okay, fine. And they actually buy it that way.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you, when I was buying cars and painting them and reselling them and stuff like that, people do that. And I'd put a price on something and they'd come in, oh, that's kind of high and this and that, and they'd leave. Well, I'd put a sign on it, new deal, and raise the price by $800. And they'd come back and, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And they'd buy it. And I'm going like, what's wrong with you people?
Oh man, hold out your hand, take that money. Don't complain, man.
Yeah,
Hey.
really.
Oh,
I
no.
took the money. In fact, a lot of cars, especially the maroon, all you had to do was rub them out. You didn't even have to paint them. And you could sell them for $1,000 more than what you bought them for.
Yeah.
And it's all because people, they wouldn't wash their car and it oxidized. A little buffing of the paint and it puts the color right back into it, and throw a little wax on it, and it shines like it was just painted.
Yeah, you can do that with fiberglass boats too. I used to polish a lot of boats out when I had the boat business.
Yep. Yeah, I was fixing semis that would get wrecked. The fiberglass on them at the dealership down in Florida. I was a diesel mechanic down there, and we'd run out of work, and they didn't want me to go home, and they found out I could do that work. So bumping and painting and all that stuff. So I jumped from one shop to the other,
Yeah.
which it didn't bother me. You know, the body shop actually paid more. And I
Scott,
didn't
what do you
get-
get out of your snowman?
Depends on the snowman. That one's not my best. I could probably fix them up and probably get like 40, $50 out of them once he's fixed up right.
Yeah.
He's a small one too. He wasn't very big. I got bigger ones. I sell up to $100 or more, depending
Oh
on
my
their size.
goodness.
Yeah. I've taken logs, big logs and turn them into snowmen. They're like 3 feet tall. I'll sell those for $150, no problem.
Yeah.
People are always looking for the rustic. They see a rustic snowman, they're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And the wife's like, "Honey, I gotta buy it. Honey, I gotta buy it. All right, I'll buy it for you."
My wife doesn't even ask anymore. She just gets her phone out and takes a picture. I got one on the lathe right now that's gonna be 4 inches round and a foot tall. That was why I was asking how I got to texture it. You got a brand new wire brush that'll get tried tomorrow.
Uh,
Well, if the wire brush don't work by itself, try a wire wheel on it.
Yeah, I got one of them too. I put it on my 4-inch grinder and try it.
Yep. That'll rough it up.
She doesn't
Amy.
understand. She doesn't understand though that I got a project that's more pressing than her snowman.
There can't be.
Yeah, there is. I got to get my dust collector back up and running.
Hmm.
I can't have that dust. I can't have the dust in here with my pellet stove running. That's not a good combination.
I don't know what that little Christmas tree would be worth that my wife decorated up, but I figure about 25, something like that.
Probably.
And that bowl that I made, it's 7.5 inches by 2.5 inches, but I figure that's worth 40.
You just got to find out what your market is, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
I told my wife you can always come down in a price. You can't raise it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
if you can't hardly sell anything. But when I take my stuff down about 2 hours south of me, I can sell it no problem.
yep.
oh yeah. If I was to go to the Bay Area or LA and get a craft booth there, I could charge an awful lot more money than what I can where I'm at.
Yeah. Yep.
Now the booth is going to cost more, but I'll still come out way ahead either way.
Yep.
It's not,
Yeah, they got-
people around here, you're selling you can sell like a decent size, nice pepper mill for about $80. If I took it down to LA, I could sell the same one for 300.
Yeah.
I couldn't even sell it for 20 here probably.
Yeah. I'd have to take it up to the tourist area for me to sell it for 80 even. I mean, I wouldn't get 80 here where I live.
No.
No way.
Yeah, I'd have to go to Ann Arbor for their big week-long market,
Yeah.
craft market. But you're looking at $2,000-3,000 for a little tiny booth,
Oh, geez.
and I can't see spending that kind of money.
No. Wow.
Yeah, they can get pretty pricey in some places.
Well, Ann Arbor, they just go nuts. You got the doctors from Michigan State and all over
Yeah.
going.
That's like my tourist place up north. I don't have a problem selling just about anything up there. Even in the wintertime. They get the snowmobilers in the wintertime. They're all out of Chicago, Milwaukee, places like that, Minneapolis. They're all rich people. They spend money like it's water coming out of the spigot.
And you can't undersell yourself though. I look at it as you can't bargain basement your prices because the same people that come into your booth, they're the ones that are going and spending all that money on Jordan jeans and expensive purses and all that crap. Why
Yep.
bargain basement your product at craft shows. You should, yeah, it just,
True.
Look, the craft shows up there, Scott, are all, you have to send your work in and it's prejudged.
oh yeah, jury.
So
Sure.
they're all juried shows, so they're not really a craft show. I mean, they
Right.
are, but you don't get the,
You don't get the looky-loos.
yeah, exactly. The people that come there are there to buy.
Well, yeah, I go to ones that they charge admission to get in.
Yeah.
Because that really cuts down the looky-loos. The only people that are willing to pay, so much money to get in are the ones that want to spend money. So,
And I only do the indoor shows. I don't do any of the outdoor ones.
oh no,
And
outdoors.
you get a lot, like you say, you get a lot better because they're paying to get in there, first
Yep.
of all.
Yeah, you don't want to go somewhere where they can get in free and just wander around and window shop and go, oh yeah, because they're bored at home and they just want something to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like me.
Yeah, so
When I get bored, I just go out in the garage.
yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise,
I
I'm
do.
sitting on the couch.
I just
Get in
did a fundraiser show, which was kind of cool.
Hmm.
So you took pieces that are, I mean, you don't take high dollar pieces because you only make 10%. So whatever you sell, you only get 10% of it. And the rest of it went to the Shriners Hospital.
Okay.
It was a fundraiser for the Shriners. And this year they also did St. Jude's. They combined split the profits between.
Huh.
The booths were free. You didn't have to pay for the booth, but you only took 10% of what you made at the show.
Oh yeah. So you don't want to take your best stuff there.
No, but I
No.
took a lot of kid stuff. It was kind of a Christmas show. So I took a
Yeah.
lot of kid stuff and a lot of low priced ornaments, fast productions type stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was a 2-day show, and at the second day I was sold out by noon. I didn't have any products left.
Oh yeah. Stuff like that. You make tops, you make magic wands, all that kind of stuff for the kids.
Yep.
Then you make the small, one-piece ornaments that you can kick out really quick.
So I was there for 16 hours and I made $400. So I didn't think that was too bad. That was my
No.
10%.
No, that's not bad at all.
That was 10% of what I sold. So that,
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good deal, and it benefited a good cause,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
And,
I'll
and
probably never.
some of the vendors there, like the people that were doing laser cutting steel and stuff like that. Two of the guys there didn't take their 10%. They donated it right back, which I thought was kind of cool too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, the thing about that though is if they got a good business going, they can always. Unfortunately, it sounds terrible, but they can write it off on their taxes at the end of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got 3 commissions out of it to make Christmas ornaments. So I mean,
Oh yeah, I get that every time I go to a craft fair. They're like they want to take orders. Last year I had somebody order 100 of my those hollow globe finial ornaments I make.
Yep.
And it was like 3 weeks before Christmas, and I'm like, "Can I have them in a week?" I said, "No." It's gonna take me longer than that to make 100 of these.
I told them all their orders. It was the first part of October. I told them all their orders had to be in by the 31st to give me time to get them done for them by Christmas,
Yeah, and then she asked if she could get a discount because she's buying so many. I'm like, no, actually, I have to charge you a little more
Yeah.
because you're rushing me here. You
Yeah.
know, put me on rush. You're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for that.
I don't like doing that. I don't like if I have to do it, I don't want to do it.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to
work.
pass the money. I mean, I was making, what was it? I made like $60-$70 per ornament off of that. So
Oh wow.
What's
Yeah.
nice about this is it's a local show and it's mostly local people. so I don't have to ship anything. You know, they're willing to come to my house to pick it up, which is nice,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know.
Oh, any orders like that, I take it. It's always local. I won't do like cross country.
No.
Oh, I want 200 of this, and then go to the hassle of packaging it all up and shipping it and hoping it gets there okay and nothing gets broken and dealing if it gets lost in the shipping. Oh God, no, I won't do that.
No.
I only do local orders.
That and it's pay in advance.
I'll do 50%.
That's what I do too. They got to pay 50% up front.
At least it covers my expenses.
Yeah,
You
material.
know, and if they don't come and get it, I keep the 50% and then I can resell it.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'll
Well,
still
I
make
do
my
that
money
now.
back. Plus
It's
some.
like I sold a car to a good friend of mine when I was younger. And he says, "Oh, I'll be back next week and pay you the cash on it." Yeah, well, that next week he was down in Texas. Never seen him again.
Well, I was lucky on these orders that I got. I had the stuff at home was already done, so all I had to do was contact them when I got home, which was convenient. I just ran out at the show is what happened, and you know what? I never thought. I came home the night in between, and it's like, should I take more with me? No, I got enough there. Well, Sunday was crazy nuts. It's like everybody came out on Sunday, not Saturday.
Wow.
You know, I had more at home. I just, you know, like I said, I just didn't take it with me because I had so much sitting there already. I didn't want to have to unpack it and then repack it, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll probably never be able to see my grandkids again because I made them a whole bunch of different types of whistles.
Yeah.
I did that one year at a craft fair, and they said, "Don't ever bring those again. You can't have a booth here," because they kept buying them, and I could hear them all over the craft fair. It's at a convention center. I could hear all these whistles going off everywhere, and it just drove all the vendors crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't let that guy sell those anymore.
I made cannons for my nieces and nephews, and I was told not to make any more of them and not to make any more things like that make a mess.
Yeah.
I do it anyway.
Yeah, whistles are easy to make.
Yeah.
And if I have a place where I can sell them, I can sell all of them. Then any amount I make, I'll sell them really quick.
My cousin makes wooden kazoos.
Uh,
Drives everybody nuts because he hands them out to all the new little kids. He hands them out.
Well, guys, you guys about ready to close her up?
oh, I guess we can early.
Yeah.
You can make me host if they want to stick around. I'll stay around for a while, Brenda.
No, I'm tired. I've been busy all day. I've been before I did my demo, I made like 3 dozen ornaments. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I need to call it a night.
Sounds good. We'll see you all next
Yeah.
week then.
Okay, I had a doctor's appointment this morning and I hate driving to Ann Arbor at 8 in the morning.
Oh gosh.
It's like LA all backed up.
Ah, man. Isn't it cold where you are, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Snow yet?
Yeah, had it last night.
Oh man, you had to drive in that in the morning. Oh, that's crappy.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that where I live. That's up at the mountains east of me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't worry about my driving, it's everybody else.